Yeah, why not? Okay, that's cheap. Yes. Anyone even charge their phone? Lightning. Feel free. No, it tastes like cough syrup. Got warm. I do not mind. As long as you're not right here. Like, there's been a few. I'm like, come on. Come on, man. I'll do this time. There. Cone me off. I cone. There. I'll leave this one. Don't want anybody
All right, folks, we're about ready for our next demo. Hopefully everybody's okay. We're going to start the demos a little early, which means we end up finishing a little bit early to get out of this balmy 95-degree heat.
95.
Oh, come on, everybody.
The next,
Way hotter than
folks,
95.
Skydio. The folks from Skydio are going to be presenting their new product. I think they're just about ready to go. I just get a thumbs up. I got a thumbs up. So with that, we're going to go ahead and turn it right over to these folks from Skydio. They're going to be operating around the... Oh, there you are. I was trying to see the guy with the mic. So you can tell them what you're doing. Take it away, Skydio.
Good morning, everybody. Can you hear me? My name is Deepu John.
Definitely cannot hear you.
My name is Deepu John. I'm a solutions engineer with Skydio. First of all, thank you all for being out here in this terrible heat. We appreciate you being out here, and we appreciate the ability to be able to demo our equipment for you. Once again, like I said, my name is Deepu John. I'm a solutions engineer with Skydio. Before coming on with Skydio, I did 20 years in the New York City Police Department. I was a tech NYPD, and I was assigned to the tech unit. And while assigned to the tech unit in 2017, I was tasked with developing the NYPD's drone program, and launched the program. And the program very successfully is running very successfully, and I retired. And I was acting as a drone coordinator for the program until my retirement a couple of months ago. So now I work with Skydio. And Skydio is a US-based drone manufacturer. That's right. We're a US-based drone manufacturer based out of Redwood City, California. We are a defense innovation unit, Blue UAS provider, providing secure, trusted drone solutions for the United States government. Let me move a little bit closer here. We also recently won the AUVSI Excellence in Innovation Award. Took first place in that award. And what we're going to be displaying for you today is going to be the technology that enabled us to win those awards and those accolades. So today we're going to be demonstrating the Skydio X2, which is the newest drone from the Skydio line. The Skydio X2 is purpose-built for work. The drone was purpose-built for work in defense, in public safety, and enterprise solutions, right? And you're going to see how the aircraft functions today. A little bit about the hardware. The aircraft has about a 35-minute flight time, 6-kilometer range, and it can operate. It's got a 35-minute flight time, 6-kilometer range, and it's a ruggedized airframe made from carbon fiber and magnesium. All right, we're gonna get ready to go here. A little bit. So the hardware specs on the aircraft is impressive, but what's really impressive about the aircraft is the software on board, the artificial intelligence on board. There are 6 4K 200-degree field of view cameras that are on board the aircraft that provide a full 360-degree field of view of the entire aircraft's environment. And what the drone does is it takes the images from those 6 4K cameras and processes it and creates a 3D point cloud that the drone uses to see, understand, and react to the environment around it. This allows us to fly closer to objects, fly closer to obstacles without colliding with the obstacles. But I can talk to you about the tech until I'm blue in the face. But let's get right ahead with the demo. So I'm going to set the stage for you here. It's a early September morning in New York City. a drunk driver driving this pickup truck just entered the wrong way onto the FDR Drive and collided with this bus. The driver of the pickup truck is deceased, and the bus driver has serious injuries. So you, as a collision investigations unit, you have to get out there and you have to document the scene. And to make things more complicated, the United Nations building, just a few blocks up the road, is having their General Assembly, which is the largest gathering of world leaders anywhere in one place, and that's about to kick off in a few hours. So you don't have any time to document the scene and get that road cleared. If you're using a terrestrial-based scanning system, this might take you too long to document it. So you need to get this the scene documented right away, and that's where the Skydio technology comes. So Aaron, our collision investigations technician, already set up the drone. And if I could direct your attention to the screen here, I'm going to talk to you about how Aaron's going to do a 3D scan of this collision scene within minutes and have that scene well documented for investigation later on, and that road cleared as quickly as possible, so those dignitaries that are coming up that FDR Drive are not going to have to find an alternate route. Okay, so time is of the essence. What Aaron's doing right now, the aircraft is already in the air, and we're going to go through our workflow right now. So Aaron is first thing we're going to do. We're going to define a polygon, an area for the drone to scan. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to set the floor, the lowest part of the area that the drone needs to scan. So Aaron has set the floor. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to set the ceiling for the drone. So he's going to, as you can see, you see in augmented reality where the ceiling is, that green overlay is going to be the ceiling. Aaron's going to set the ceiling for the drone to be well clear of the height of the bus to make sure we have a good 3D capture. The ceiling has been set. We're just reducing that floor a little bit just to make sure we get all that, all the data on the ground level. And if you imagine if this not being a collision scene and it's a crime scene, there's shell casings and things like that on the ground, you want to make sure that you get all that data, and you want to get it, a complete capture. So the ceiling is being adjusted right now, and doing it through the augmented reality engine on the drone itself makes this a very effortless endeavor. So once the floor and the ceiling has been set, we're going to set the 4 pillars. We're, again, trying to define that polygon, that 3D polygon area that we want the drone to scan. So in this, 4 pillars can be set. And again, you can see that in augmented reality. You're going to see those pillars. And Aaron's going to be able to fly to the next point, set the pillar, and even if he needs to look back to reference where that first pillar was, he can turn around and you'll be able to see that set. So we got the second pillar set. Now we're going to go to the other side of the collision scene and set the last 2 pillars, and that's going to define that full 3-dimensional polygon that we're telling the aircraft to scan. All right, the 3rd pillar has been set. We're going to fly out and just do that 4th pillar right there. The 4 pillars have been set. Now the aircraft is taking a look at the area that we've defined for it. Next thing that the drone is going to ask you to do do you want to set a geofence, right? Now imagine this is the FDR Drive. The northbound lane is where that accident happened. I want to have that southbound lane still clear and open because I want to keep that traffic moving as much as I can. I can set a geofence on this aircraft and tell the aircraft never to encroach outside of my geofence. I'm telling the aircraft to conduct the scan from within the polygon that I've defined, never to go outside of it. So we're going to put that lateral geofence on there for it. And the next part is going to be an augmented reality observer mode. This is really, really cool. So once you set that augmented reality observer mode, you can actually go back into that augmented reality view and know the exact position of the aircraft as it's conducting the scan, wherever it is. The AR observer mode has been set. Now the drone is pretty much doing the work on its own. It's going into an exploratory phase where it's going to look at that area that you've defined, look at the objects inside it, and it's going to try to figure out the best way to capture that scene. Aaron is not flying his drone right now. the drone is operating on its own. That exploration phase has started. Again, Aaron's got his hands off the sticks. The drone is doing the work right now. It's going to go around and look at that scene from multiple angles and figure out a few things. It's going to figure out how many pictures that it needs to take to get an accurate rendering. It's going to figure out how many minutes of flight time it needs. And it's going to tell you what the ground sampling distance is going to be. And this is key for anybody who's doing kind of crime scene and collision documentation, what that ground sampling distance is going to be on this rendering. So you already know before you get to your office and start processing these images what your projected ground sampling distance is going to be. And it's building that AR 3D mesh around your object that you need to scan. That exploration phase is just going to go on for a couple more seconds until the drone is satisfied that it has examined all the areas of that polygon that you've defined, and it knows what to do next. So we're ready now. We're ready to do the 3D capture. So right now it's going to tell you it needs 557 photos. We're going to bring down that overlap a little bit because we don't want you sitting here and watch the drone take 500 photos. That's kind of pointless. So we'll bring those side overlaps a little bit to bring this flight time down. All right, we're ready to go. We're going to tell the drone to begin the scan. Again, at this point, Aaron is not controlling this aircraft at all. The aircraft is controlling itself. His job as a pilot in command is to monitor the actions of the aircraft, and it's just to make sure that it's doing what you want it to do. The 3D capture is being conducted by the drone by itself. And what you're going to see on the screen right now is that AR observer view that we talked about, right? So Aaron can look down at his screen and he knows the exact position of the drone, even if it's on the other side of the bus. Don't worry, we have a VO set up on the other side to make sure we're compliant with FAA. And Aaron can just watch the progress of the 3D scan take place. In that AR observer mode, as you see that overlay, you see how that the entire scene has like a yellow overlay on it. But that's a visual cue to Aaron, letting him know that the yellow areas don't have enough data for us to create a full 3D scan. As the aircraft continues to take additional pictures, you're going to see that AR overlay go from yellow to green to purple. When we get to that purple, which is where we want to be, we have sufficient data to create an accurate 3D model of this scene. So while the drone is doing its work, and this is kind of the boring part for the pilot and me as a narrator, what I want you to do is kind of try to imagine what you can do with a Skydio and how you can put a Skydio to work for you. Obviously, we're demonstrating the public safety use case here for collision and crime scene investigations. Like we said, if we imagine that this was a scene of a shooting and there's shell casings on the ground, the aircraft can automatically document that entire scene. But say you're in a different vertical. Say you are in the energy industry and you want to operate, you want to inspect your power substations or your power grid. Because Skydio's drones operate on visual navigation, and it's primarily operating on visual navigation, it's not reliant on a compass or a GPS, a magnetometer or a GPS. So you are able to fly very close right up to those power stations without having any kind of electromagnetic interference that's going to interfere with the drone's actions, right? I know if you are, show of hands, how many of us are in the energy industry here? You know that flying close to those power stations, you have to do a pretty wide standoff, and you have to use those zoom lenses to be able to inspect your infrastructure. With Skydio, you can fly right up to it, and you can do the inspections right there. Okay, yep, we're going to, like I said, watching this drone kind of fly around and capture 500 pictures is not very entertaining, so we're going to do a land. And what Cabe, a part of our solutions engineering team, what Cabe is going to do is do a hand capture of this drone. The aircraft is designed to be launched and recovered by hand, which prevents you from dropping it, putting the drone on the ground over here and pulling in all kinds of dirt and dust into your sensors and your processors and things like that. And it makes it very easy to be able to hand launch and hand capture this aircraft. And we're going to let, I think it's going to take a few more pictures. But again, if you're, we're talking about the power grid, the power inspection vertical. You know, if you're in enterprise and you want to do infrastructure inspection, you can do those kinds of jobs with the Skydio much faster, much more efficiently, and much safer than you can with other aircraft in the field. Cape's doing a hand capture of the drone right now. And that's it. The entire scan, the scene has been documented. The FDR drive is back open, and all the dignitaries that go into the United Nations Assembly. Good job by the collision investigations team. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to pull up a quick rendering that we did yesterday of this area. You know how you watch the cooking shows and they show you putting the food in the oven, and 2 seconds later it comes back out fully cooked. Well, this is a rendering of the scan that we did of the same scene yesterday. And this is a quick rendering that we did just to be able to show something to you guys today. So that's a full 3D scan of that entire scene.
About 1 hour process. About 1 hour in process.
Yep. So Kate was telling me that scene took about an hour to process. Folks, we'd love to talk to you. If you'd like to stop by our booth later on, come by, stop by. We'll talk to you about the different use cases that we've used Skydio for, and we'd like to hear about the different use cases that you're imagining using Skydio for. We'll be over here. We'll also be on the show floor tomorrow and the day after. Looking forward to meeting all of you. Once again, thank you for braving the heat, being out here. My name is thank you, guys.
Outstanding, outstanding. Folks from Skydio got some great technology, that's for sure. Well, coming up next, we have the folks from Autel. They're going to be showing their Dragonfish aircraft. So it looks like they're getting ready to get set up over here. You're going to put on launch pad, Alejandro, or no? Okay, good. But while we're waiting for them to get set up, I want to just call out a couple of thank yous to some folks. First of all, again, the folks at ComUAV, really thrilled that they were able to bring this to you. We're grateful for the opportunity at Sundance Media Group to be a part of this event with you. And this is my opportunity to point out all the folks in yellow vests that are Sundance Media Group folks. We're very grateful to them for being here, making sure we have a safe event, making sure that we have an event with all the things that you need. We are struggling a little bit with the heat and some of the electronics that we're dealing with, but it seems like it's getting us here and there okay. I want to thank the folks from the bus company and the folks from the beverages and water that are here. Please make sure that you drink, not only because you need the liquid in your body because of the desert heat, but we don't want to take it home. Help save the back of our truck so that we don't have to carry quite as much equipment or as much food home. All right, Autel, how we doing? Max, Alejandro? I'm looking for your pilot, Gary. Are you good to go, Alejandro? All right, looking for Gary. Gary and Max up here. Max, you guys ready? Do you need another minute? 1 more minute? All right, 1 more minute. Now, some of you in the past have probably seen the Dragonfish fly at previous ComUAV expos. I flew it here 2 years ago, and it was flown the year before that. This is not at all the same Dragonfish that was shown here 2 years ago or 3 years ago. It's been completely re-engineered with a bunch of payloads, and we'll leave it to the folks at Autel to share with you what they've done. But for those of you who had, somebody a moment ago said, well, I saw it fly last year. Completely different aircraft. The one you saw, in 2019, stripped apart, you can see it even looks quite a bit different. And so you'll be able to see how it's different and some of the new features and tools that they've brought to the table. Max, you good to go?
Yes, I am. Is the mic live?
We can hear you.
Awesome.
All right, I'm going to turn it over to Max Lee and Gary DeLuca from Autel Robotics. Take it away, guys.
Well, everyone, thank you very much for coming to this demo. I'll do some brief introductions here. So we have Gary DeLuca, the CEO for Autel Robotics US. My name is Max. I'm the general manager and part of the ownership group of Autel. And we have Alejandro somewhere. Oh, here he is. And Alejandro here will be our field assistant. He's the support manager, and he'll be our visual observer for today. Now, the Dragonfish is Autel Robotics' lightweight electronic eVTOL aircraft. That means it is a vertical takeoff and landing.
The advantages of such a system is you have all the flexibility of a quadcopter, and that means you can take off from nearly anywhere. You don't need runways, slingshots. You don't need launchers. You don't need trailer tow anything. It's a very compact and light system. As long as you can find a 10 by 10 foot square an area of space, you can rise above all your obstacles. You can do your transition at around 200, 300 feet, and then you're off on your missions. No worries about runways. No worry about learning how to throw aircraft, and keeping things very very simple. And simplicity is the key for the Dragonfish here. Very simple to fly, very safe. Almost no training required. The thing just basically flies itself, and we are going to demonstrate it here. So Gary here, he's got our Dragonfish controller with the screen connected on the big screen, and then we don't have to like pre-make any mission plans. We can make it live. There's no need for PCs. We can just arrive on site. Well, making a mission is as easy as 1, 2, and 3, and we're just going to demonstrate that everything is just ready to fly right out of the box. No more tweaking. So Gary here, he's in the mission planning phase. You see that we have 3 missions. We have the waypoint mission, the polygon, and the rectangular. The rectangle and the polygon. Gary, why don't you click in to show how easy it is? So we're going to zoom into Vegas. Here we are. We're just going to tap the screen once, and boom, you have your flight plan. The green is where the Dragonfish will fly. You can adjust, the area you want to map. And here is going to exit. And we're going to go to our waypoint mission, which is the mission that we're going to be demonstrating today. So now we're heading to our transition altitude, 185 feet, and now it's going to do this transition, which will take around 300 feet. The main fuselage propeller shuts off, and it's very, very silent right now. The Dragonfish is basically inaudible at around 400 feet AGL, unless it is directly above you, and it's just a slight whirl of the propellers. So we'll let it do its circle up point to its mission altitude of 385 feet, and then we're just going to head over to our first waypoint. See on the screen here. So one thing about the Dragonfish is you can fly this thing completely autonomously. You can just set your waypoints. You can build it at the launch site, or you can have it pre-built in a computer and upload it to our controller. But this is not the only way to fly the Dragonfish. Let's say that you're on a mission, you're looking around, just chilling, and then you see something like a suspicious vehicle, a suspicious person. You don't want the Dragonfish to just keep on flying. You want this flight path to be dynamic. You want to change the Dragonfish, and let it fly to suit your need. So let's say that we want to be somewhere else, Gary. Can you set us a quick mission, super fast? So Gary's going to click the quick mission button. We're going to plop a point down on the map, and we're going to set our altitude and what the orbit radius. And so what you see here is the Dragonfish has now deviated away from its pre-coordinated flight path and is going off to this point that we have just plopped down. So the Dragonfish deviates. You can see the little airplane symbol is going to the green circle that we just set. Gary, why don't you tap the screen to stabilize our gimbal? That works. Gary, disengage, return to home. It seems like we may have flown out of the area that we're supposed to, but that's fine. Gary, can you switch back to camera view and we can show some of the dynamic track capabilities of the fish before Foley returns home? So while Gary's manning the camera, I want to mention a few more things about the Dragonfish. Is that during any point while it is flying, if you want to fly it manually, you can. All you have to do is to swap a button, flick it from automatic to manual, and then the Dragonfish will fly like any normal quadcopter. If it is flying slow, it will become a quadcopter. If you speed it up fast enough, it will automatically transition to a fixed view. It is not possible to stall this aircraft. You can do whatever the heck you want with it, and it is super easy to fly. You can throw the sticks like you would with any Evo or DJI or Skydio. Just go crazy at it, and it won't fall out of the sky. Not recommended, but that's just this additional safety feature. If you see like if you need to brake, the Dragonfish can brake in under 90 feet, and then it will just hover. So Gary right now is using our dynamic track on the screen. You can see that there are little bullets that's popping out in and out of view. So this is one of our AI recognition technology. And what it is the Dragonfish is actively recognizing those objects as something from the surrounding. So what I mean is the Dragonfish can recognize people, it can recognize horses, trucks, cars, and watercraft, and also people on bikes. So this makes the tracking particularly strong. Gary, why don't we target something at fun? there's also another way to track the object. So you can draw a box around a particular, structure, and the dragonfish will deviate from its flight path, and it will follow, in circles around that structure. If that, structure is an object that happens to be moving, then the dragonfish will move with the subject. You can go up to about 62 miles an hour. With a, dragonfish's minimum cruising speed is about 38 miles an hour. Is it possible to switch over to the camera view and zoom in and show us the beautiful zoom capabilities? So the current dragonfish that we have is the triple sensor dragonfish. That means it has a payload of 3 sensors. You have a 4K wide angle for your situational awareness, and then you have a 20 times optical zoom with 240 times digital zoom, and then you have a thermal 640 by 512 radiometric sensor at 30 frames a second. It appears that Gary is on manual mode, so he braked. The dragonfish is now just hovering like a regular quadcopter. All right, Gary has initiated go home, so now the dragonfish will automatically come back, transition, and land. Please give us a moment. The dragonfish is doing the circle down point to go from 385 to 185 AGL, and it's going to come in for the transition and landing. And again, I want to make a note on Dragonfish's precision accurate landing. We should be around half an inch to an inch away from where we've taken off without any pilot input.
Thank you, Adrian. Yes, it is. Very amazing.
So we still have around 2 minutes and 30 seconds. So Gary is going to prep up for another flight. We're going to take it off into the air and play around with the dynamic track to show you the capabilities of the camera and the track features.
We'll give you 5 minutes, Max. Go ahead and take a couple extra. People want to see this. So go ahead and make it happen. Guys from Brink, please be getting set up. You're up next.
So now we're at mission altitude, 285 AGL, and then Gary is going to look around to see if there's anything interesting to track. You can orient the camera in many ways. There are 2 scroll wheels on the controller. One controls the up and down, and then the other one the left and right. But my preferred method of controlling the gimbal is simply by tapping the screen. If you tap right, the gimbal will turn right. If you tap left, the gimbal will turn left. And it will stabilize itself. So Gary here just drew a box around the road. So now the Dragonfish has deviated away from the flight path and is now fixated on that vehicle right here. Dragonfish's tracking is visual based. So sometimes the object needs to be large enough for it to recognize it as something distinct. So if we're at 3 times zoom, we're going to zoom in a bit more, preferably. If you are zoomed too close into the vehicle, the Dragonfish no longer recognizes it as a vehicle. So it will lose the track. So you don't want to be too close. The proper method of doing tracking is you want to just have a point, stabilize your camera, zoom in to about 5 times zoom. So the Dragonfish recognizes the vehicle, and then you zoom in a bit more. You reacquire the target, and then you zoom in a bit more. You reacquire the target, and then you might see the license plate, and then you tap on the license plate, and then it will get you the license plate info. All right, we're heading back down.
doesn't matter. Well, an LAS file is the closest thing. Well, yeah. But there again, if you don't get the image, but then geotech.
Okay.
That's just me.
Brink team, you guys want to get ready to go? You're up next. Brink. Well done, Dragonfish. Right about down on the landing pad as it should be. All right. Thank you, Max. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Autel Robotics. Great job. Just a second or two for Brink to get set up. I won't affect their demo. I'll just say that there's a reason they're putting some glass up here in the window. I think you're going to see something pretty exciting here. We're just about out, folks. We've got the Brink truck vault coming up here. Now, it would be inappropriate for me to say too much about some of the different manufacturers, but we're kind of proud of Brink because they are a local Las Vegas company. So the aircraft that they're flying are made right here in Las Vegas, 100% of it. So I think you're going to be really impressed with what they're doing. And they've got this truck vault system for rapid deployment, so forth. Las Vegas Metro is using some of these devices. They're heavily used in SWAT situations where the aircraft has to fly into a home. And I'm sure that Brink's announcer will tell you a little bit more about what's going on there. So we're going to give them just a couple of minutes to get this glass set up. And once they have that in place, we'll see Brink. I think they're going to deploy off the truck vault, or are we moving the landing pad? You can move that up? Outstanding. And this will be our last demonstration for the afternoon. So if you're looking to grab another bottle of water or a can of soda or some of the snacks that are back there, this is the opportunity. It looks like we're probably roughly 5 minutes out until Brink's ready to go. Is that right? About 5? 3? Oh, 3 minutes. So 3 to 5 minutes, we'll be ready to go. So grab yourself another bottle of water. Folks, I can't iterate this enough. Even if you just had a bottle of water a few minutes ago, please grab another bottle. We have had one attendee suffering from heat stroke this morning. So please drink water or other liquids to keep your body going in this desert, even if you're just sitting and non-active.
It's still stupid.
So with this, I'm going to turn you right over to Angad Singh from Brink. So Angad will be taking you through what Brink is doing their demo. Here you go.
You can hear me through the. All right. Okay. Thank you, Douglas. I really appreciate it, sir. Hey, my name is Ankit Singh. I'm the Director of Business Development for Brink Drones. We are a Las Vegas company, so welcome to Las Vegas. Well, technically we're in Henderson, but regardless, we appreciate you guys coming out. Brink's a little unique. We are making all of our drones here in Las Vegas with American labor. So it is 100% end-to-end manufactured here in Las Vegas, Nevada with American labor. And we design our drones specifically for law enforcement and DoD applications. We essentially provide the premier indoor solution for drones that exists on the market today.
force firmware upgrades or anything that's going to ground you. So when those seconds count to get this thing going, literally from start to finish, we can have the drone up and ready operational in about 45 seconds to a minute. Analog transmission, so it has a better penetration rate when you're trying to get into buildings and navigate your way through it. If you hit a hollow core door that's unlatched, you can push your way through it, kind of hovercraft into a room, go look underneath the bed or in an attic space and around ductwork, just kind of flying around and then pushing it and then starting two-way comms. So you find the person of interest in a house or a building and you want to start that de-escalation process and talking to them, we can call the drone. After about 2 rings, it picks up and you have full two-way communication. So we'll start in turtle mode here where we can flip the drone upright just to kind of show you in the event that the drone hit a wall or hit some angle or something and got itself knocked over, you can reverse the motors and get the drone back upright again and then continue on with your mission. So. The drone, unlike GPS-based drones, you can fly either completely manual or with a LiDAR-based vision system. So inside homes, if you need help kind of navigating upstairs or around some unique corners, that system can assist the pilot in doing that. Otherwise, you have full, complete manual control. So whether you want to hover at within inches above the ground or go up to a higher altitude, you have full ability to do whatever you need to do for that. So. Chase is going to be adding on the glass breaker. So when he'll enter the bus in through one window and come back out, and then our makeshift little house there, you'll see that piece of glass on the front. We'll use the glass breaker to puncture and basically drive right through that piece of glass and continue on the mission. So just to kind of simulate what you would have if you were on a high-risk situation in a house. This is the new Lemur S, and it now features the ability to use a smart controller, which has a built-in screen, or just see Chase using today the FPV goggles. So if you wanted to have a co-pilot situation where the pilot used the smart controller and the co-pilot used the goggles just as a vision, you can add that option built in. Spin. You'll be engaging the glass breaker.
Woo! That was cool. Sweet. That was
pretty
cool.
amazing capability for that size of drone and the ability to attach multiple other options. So if you wanted to have multiple of these drones flying all at the same time, you could have one do your breach as this just did and another one come in. We have lighting attachments, payload droppers. We've actually launched this drone with our terrestrial landing pad or landing option where we've launched it from Spot, the Boston Dynamics dog. We'll remove the glass breaker just for the other portions you'll be able to see a little bit easier. When Chase enters the bus, we'll flip it into night vision mode. The camera has a fully selectable on-the-fly day and night vision optic, and it's also easily replaceable, which is the cool thing about this system. So if you break props, break prop guards, anything pretty much outside the fuselage, it gives you field repairability. So you don't have to worry about sending it back into the manufacturer necessarily. Most of the stuff that you're going to see go wrong with this, you can replace right in the field, which comes with the training that you get when you buy this system. perfect for confined space and obviously a multitude of different platforms or areas that you can fly this system into. Obviously, see being able to navigate through that bus between seats, in and out of small windows. This thing can handle just about anything you throw at it. You have to bump your way around corners because obviously most of the time, if not all the time, you're going to be in environments in which you know nothing of what you're navigating through. So unlike other drones, even with prop guards on them, you'd be highly unlikely to be able to navigate, if not at all, most likely in this type of environment. The night vision, yeah, it's not obviously going to show you too much with the night vision side of things right now just because there's so much daylight, but it is obviously have the ability to see in complete darkness, and we have the LED lighting attachment that you can add on as an accessory to help amplify that even more.
That's cool.
Total flight time of this system is about 26 to 28 minutes with up to a 10-hour perch mode. So if you found the person of interest inside a structure and you wanted to sit and try and talk the situation down or de-escalate it, you call the phone, set up that communication, and you can sit there for hours on end having that two-way. So the de-escalation process, mitigating that human risk factor, not putting in SWAT teams or patrol officers in blindly into a situation that might end up deadly or costly to them. And that is it.
Awesome. It's a Brink lemur. It's a Brink. It's the lemur.
So we'll
Was that the last
show
one?
just a little bit wrapped around how rugged this system is. We can kind of bump it and bruise it into walls. I've a number of times have broken glass to the point where it's shattered or spider web cracked out but not completely shattered, where I've been able to drive the drone in as a battering ram and keep pushing through it without any issues. Letting the thing free fall from several feet in the air. This uses a lithium-ion battery instead of a LiPo battery, so a little more rugged and built specifically for that type of system. With Datorama, we offer on-site training of this system. So if you were to buy one of these, we offer end-to-end solutions, whether it's the truck vault system you see over there, which we can build you something as basic as just a box and storage system, to having power inversion and remote viewing capabilities, such as what the Brink has. It has a transmitter box that's got a magnet on the back of it. So you could take that box, stick it to the side of a Bearcat SWAT truck, and remote live stream that feed right to a command center, pretty much anywhere within 6 to 8 miles. So,
My pleasure. Happy to do it. We'll catch y'all later.
Okay.
sure.